Hello and welcome to day 4 in a week with Wendy. Today we're going to be jumping right into what do you say on the phone to someone when you've reached them. Yesterday we talked about a lot of different avenues to find motivated sellers, and typically I'll be working in 3 or 4 different ways to market to try to get sellers to call me or for me to call them, pursuing them. And one of my favorite ways that I'm going to share with you on today's video is what you actually say to someone. So my actual script, and this is a script that I use for calling sellers directly out of Craigslist. And I love Craigslist, like I said yesterday, because it's free, and just picking up the phone is free. It takes some of your time, but this script is so powerful. I want you to understand that this particular script will give me 30 to 50% yeses when you use it. So that's how strong this script is for doing lease options. And tomorrow I'm going to show you actually how to make the phone calls. But today we're just going to talk about what you're going to say and why I say certain things. So if you're on following along in your ebook, we're going to be on page 9. And this is a script for the for rent section again. Again, owners, not real estate agents. These are specifically owners of rental properties that have put their phone number in Craigslist, and they're trying to rent their property, not sell it, rent it. And what I'm looking for with this type of script is to find that seller who wants to do a lease option, meaning they'll lease the property to me without any money or any credit. They'll lease it with the right to buy it. So I'm going to control that piece of real estate without owning it. And this is really important because this is one of those key strategies that you can do as an investor that is zero down and no credit, no money, truly no mortgages, no personal liability. So let's look at what we say when we're doing these particular calls. So on page 9, I'm going to start with saying, hi, my name is Wendy. I was calling about your home for rent. And you can already tell that when I went from my teaching voice with you to my phone voice, it changed a little bit. It went up a little bit. It was like, hi. It was my sweeter voice. And the reason that I do that is because I want to sound as soft and sweet as possible to the person on the other end. Now guys, you don't have to raise your voice up an octave, but again, use your soft, nicer voice as nice as you can, because they can't see you. The person on the other end of the phone can't see you, they can only hear you. So they're visualizing already that person that they're going to be seeing. And for me, I think about it, I'm a landlord too. So when someone calls me and they're really nice on their voicemail versus someone who's like, hey, I was calling about your home for rent, yeah, I was wondering if you could tell me, that's rough. And it's not that I wouldn't rent to someone like that, but it just kind of immediately turns me off. Now, I'm a professional landlord. If I was a homeowner, Joe the homeowner, which is who we're looking for, the motivated seller, right? They're not going to have that same professional understanding that they're going to screen based on criteria versus intuition. See, we as professionals it's the law that you have to screen them based on your criteria and what it is that you are expecting your tenant to, what their standards are going to be like, what their credit score is, if they have to be on a job for a certain time period, how much money they have, those types of things. But the average homeowner doesn't understand that. So remember, just keep it really soft and sweet. And one of the big thing is, look at the script. If you're, this is kind of a Midwest script, meaning like I ask if you have a basement. Well, obviously if you're in Florida, you don't ask that, right? But you might ask something else. Is it in a floodplain? Is it, in the sinkhole area? I mean, there's all kinds of weird things in Florida and other states too. Every state has something different or unique. So whatever's important in your area, you might add that question. The reason I'm adding questions is questions build rapport and trust. And I'm asking someone to give me their property without giving them the money for it. I need them to trust me. So here's what I'm going to say. Hi, my name is Wendy. I was calling about your home for rent. And they might say, yeah, hi. I say, can you tell me if it's still available? Or I might say, when is it available? And again, I'm asking questions. It might have even said in the ad exactly when it's available. I try not to ask questions that are specifically already in the ad, but I'm trying to get them talking. Because the more that I get them to talk, the more they're going to trust and feel comfortable with me as Wendy on the other end of the phone line. So then I might say, can you tell me a little bit about the home? So in other words, it might have said 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,100 square feet, but I want to know a little bit more. I want them to share with me things like, oh, we've lived in this home for 30 years. We've raised all our kids there. Bingo. If I'm listening for those kind of things, why am I listening for that? Because I want to know it's really important to them. If they lived in the home, I'm going to jump on that. Oh, really? That's wonderful. You've lived there 30 years? Oh my gosh, that must be tough for you to leave the home. Why would you leave such a wonderful home? Now see, that's off my script right now, but when I hear something like that, I might divert my script slightly. So you're going to play with this over time. But if you're not sure what to say, go back to the script, right? So then I say, tell me a little bit more about the home. And then I might say like, well, what do you want to know? Just say, well, can you tell me just have a really nice bedroom or bathroom or whatever it is that you think that particular home should have based on your area and that price range you're looking in. And then I say, well, when was the home built? And again, I'm just trying to get them to talk. And if they say in the 70s, then I might say, have the kitchens and bathrooms been updated? Or are they from the 70s, kind of the yellows and greens? Or is it from the 50s, grays, or pink or yellow? Depending on what type of time frame it was, I might ask some questions. And then I'll say, does it have a garage or basement? And again, depending on your area, if it doesn't already say it in the ad. If they say it has a basement, you might want to ask some additional questions. Like for me, I might say, is there anything finished in the basement? Or does the basement leak? Because in my area, I don't want a basement that leaks. It's just going to cause me problems down the road as one of my investments. Or if I could get it fixed reasonable, it might be a big issue to them where they might think that that's, 20 grand to fix. And my guy might be able to fix it for several $1,000s maximum. That's worst case. Usually it's just gutters and downspouts missing or something not sealed on the outside or something minor like that. But worst case, it's typically a couple $1,000s. So I know that, but they may not have the connections that I have or the knowledge I have in order to fix that. So then I might say, is the yard fenced? If the area would allow for fences. And again, all I'm doing is just getting them to talk about their home. And then, after I've kind of exhausted the questions I want to ask, I might say something like, wow, your home sounds really nice. Is there any chance you would consider selling it? And then I shut up. Well, it's really important to actually shut up after all the questions because you want them talking. If you're talking, you're tearing down rapport and making them more suspicious. And you're probably going to say something that maybe it's not even correct, or you might fumble through your words. I want them talking. Now, when we make the live calls tomorrow, you'll see. Sometimes they'll ask me certain questions. Like they might say, well, when are you looking to move? Now, I don't ever answer something on here with a lie. So let's say they ask, when are you looking to move? Well, personally, me as Wendy, I've been looking to move for, the last 10 years. My husband and I have been looking for a lakefront property. Well, we're looking to move when we find the right home. I'm hoping that your home might be the right home. And so you might ask them that kind of thing. I'm hoping your home might be the right home. And then you divert that back on them. What makes you love that home so much? Why did you stay in the home so many years? So again, I'm taking it off of me, onto them. I want them talking. 30 to 50% of sellers will say yes. They would consider selling that home to you when you ask that question if they come from the for rent section of Craigslist. Now that's not bad. That is a really high response. Now, but we got to go back to, just because they say yes, does that mean they're motivated? As we're talking about, the first 8 pages of my ebook, why is it so important that a seller's motivated? Well, because if they're not motivated, you're not going to get a good deal. So just because they say, yeah, I'd sell to you I'd sell to you, doesn't mean they're motivated. What I want them to say is, what I'm looking for is, yeah, I'd sell to you. Gosh, it's for sale already. It's listed with the real estate agent. I've been trying to sell it, but because it didn't sell, I've decided to go ahead and rent it. Bingo. Bum, 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 bum. I know they want to sell, but they're willing to rent. That would be a great lease option candidate. So then I might ask the next question. Well, it sounds really wonderful. When would I be able to come see that property? Or when would I be able to come see your home? Okay, so ask them those types of questions. Then tomorrow, what we're going to do is going to go through those extra calls, and then we're going to look on the day after that of exactly how you set up the appointment. What are you going to say when you're there? When you're walking through the home with the seller and they think that you're going to rent the property or live in it, what are you going to say to them? And how can you get through that situation? We're going to talk about that tomorrow and the next day.